Good morning. As Leila said, I'm Russel Associate Professor at the Department of Architecture and Graduate Program in Urban and Regional Planning at the Federal University of Rio Grande do Sul. The paper that we present is the hierarchical value of value perceived by groups of users about their neighborhood. This research was carried out by Michelle Silva, a student supervised by me. Some researchers from the living construction community have identified from marketing field research the perceived value as a concept with potential for contributing to the consolidation of the value concept. In this context, the consumer perception is what they want to happen in a specific situation of use with the help of a product or a service offered, in the sense of creating a proposal or goal. We, of course, exchange the product or service offers for good environment or project and associated services. As well, from the marketing field, we identify the mid-end change conceptual model that you can see in this slide. In this model, the perceived value hierarchy is deployed in attributes, consequences, and personal values. And the means-end chain associates the means of the concrete and tangible attributes of the project in the base of the model with desired benefits that are abstract and intangible objectives or personal values in the top of the model. This model was proposed by Gutman to describe how consumers categorize information about products in their memory, and this is influenced by social psychologists as Hacker that defines the terminal values of the favorite final states of existence and the instrumental values are the favorite social conduct and behavior modes to achieve the personal goals. To apply this model, we use the laddering technique, and this technique can be used for mapping the relationships between the product attributes, consequences, and personal values. To apply this technique, the first step is in-depth interviews. After that, analysis of the content of the answers of the interviews and translation these to the letters. After that, elaboration of the implication matrix with direct and indirect relations between the letters, and the construction of this hierarchical value map, and of course, for the last interpretation of the data. About the acknowledgement gap, considering these researchers that use that apply laddering technique in this conceptual model, the existing studies in this on the built environment has focused on the buildings. From this, there is a lack of research focusing on the built environment on neighborhood scale. In this scale, has a greater complexity because of the number of different typologies of buildings, infrastructure, and large number of users. Besides this, the personal values dimension has not been properly explored in the investigations related to the built environment. And the personal values are used or could be used by the subjects as a base for equating decision and conflict processes. This paper reports part of master research, in which one of the research questions was, what are the relationships between personal values and the perception of value of user groups of a neighborhood? From this, the paper aims at identifying and comparing the value perception of two user groups of a neighborhood. And for us, identifying is understood as the deployment of the relations between the personal values and the perception of value by the user groups. Here you can see the Cidade Baixa neighborhood located in Porto Alegre City, the capital of Rio Grande do Sul, south of Brazil. The starting point of the case study was that the town hall formed a work group with the aim of creating the conflicts of interest between two neighborhood user groups, residents and traders. The main problem between them was the nightlife noise that is related to the profits of the owners of the bars and restaurants and represents a disturb for the residents during the night. The perception of value of both groups was captured through the application of the Ladderux technique and the Hierarchical Value Map. All data were inserted and processed in the Ladderux tool. And the data collection started with this semi-structured in-depth interview that was outlined with the constructs: coexistence, accessibility, image, environmental comfort, and safety. These constructs are previously identified in other phases of the research that included the application of questionnaires with the same type of users. Here you can see an example of the summary codes generated in research related to the structure of the model. And in this case, this example, one of the terminal values identifies happiness, and this means well-being, feeling well, personal satisfaction, better life, and so on. And this was identified from the literature review from 18 terminal values and 18 extreme instrumental values, for example. In the research, the student identified related to this case study 10 terminal values and 6 instrumental values. Here you can see an example of the letters and the more frequently mentioned elements related to the answers of the residents and traders. And finally, here you can see the residents' hierarchical value map. In this example, on the base, you can see as the concrete attribute the infrastructure, for example, that have a direct relation with maintenance, that is abstract attribute, that is directly related to environmental comfort, that is functional consequence, that is related with stability, psychological consequence, and it's related to happiness and value. It's possible for the same attributes, other way to the happiness from this terminal value, passing by this psychological consequence, sense of security. On the other hand, in the traders' hierarchical value map, for the same concrete attribute infrastructure that is related to maintenance, image as the functional consequence, and directly related to successful, that is an instrumental value, and prosperity for the terminal value. And finally, about this kind of map, it's possible to overlap qualitative and quantitative data. Of course, the results of the Ladderux technique and the interview are qualitative, but it's possible to overlap information from the other phases of the research, like the questionnaires, confirming the results. From the conclusions, the hierarchical value maps as a visual display shows more clearly the relationships between personal values and the perception of value regarding the neighborhood for each individual traders and residents. The influence of personal values on users' perception of value has allowed an understanding of the value relation to be used in the built environment. As shown in this case, study different personal values result in similarities and differences in users' perceived value. The complexity of a neighborhood use management shows a potential for applying such methods to development of complex projects and other studies in the construction area. This research will present an effort to attempt to apply the very concept to urban context.
Thank you, Luciana. Questions?